Members of my closed ASPW experience community ask me questions regularly. I love answering them, I love responding to them, and every now and again there's a really interesting question that demands public review, and this is one of those. Given the comments and given the insight from people that have commented who drive Jimnys and have even done the Canning stock route in Jimnys, they're saying you will not succeed. Please take their advice. Having now read almost every single one of the 300 plus messages, comments, wishes of goodwill mostly from YouTube viewers regarding my friend's challenge that he has put in front of himself to drive his fairly stock Jimny on the Canning stock route alone, your comments have fueled a discussion. Now, I'm going to and I feel compelled to do this. These are because I'm going to report on this, whether Joost is successful or not, and I think he will be, because I'm confident in his ability. I'm going to present my ideas right now, and I'm going to present a bit of a forecast. The traditional way of wiring up DC installations is dead and buried, because everything you see there in a traditional installation has been replaced by that. Because every component shown here is replaced by the Egon DC hub, because it eliminates the need for lugs, crimps, heat shrinks, and it eliminates the need for expertise. All those replaced with a screwdriver. What's more, built into every Egon DC hub is instant fault finding. It's a revolution. Visit egon.com.au to find out more. I said in my video, and I hope I'm not just trying to prove myself right, but I think I am right, mostly, because of many people have commented and they've driven Jimnys on the Canning. And to a fault, the advice is do not take a trailer. And because of reasons that I perhaps don't fully appreciate, but they, because they are Jimny owners, do. If he chooses to take a trailer, this is what I believe is a fairly good chance of happening. The first 3 or 4 days, it's going to be fine. And then when he hits the dune fields, things are going to get a little bit more serious. Now, vehicles break on the Canning for 2 reasons. One, they're overloaded. That's not an issue here. Okay? And 2, they're driven too hard and too fast. Many of you have said, as long as he takes it slow and easy. That's good in principle, but in practice, getting up some of those dunes, you can't do them slow and easy. You won't get over the top. Even if you're not pulling a trailer, you can't get over the top. Now I'm going to run a clip here.
Remote outback Australia. About as remote as it's possible to get in Australia. 4 of us in 4 vehicles, all modern, well-equipped 4-wheel drives, except for one. A vintage Land Rover product, no less.
This is my troop carrier over one of the steeper dunes.
That's the 3rd complete 4-wheel drive that we found wrecked on the side of the track.
And I've driven it twice, and once you get used to it, you can actually get up and over every single dune first time. That is not going to be the case with a Jimny pulling a heavy trailer. It's just not going to do it.
Damn, we tried so hard.
But Andrew, see what happens. See if he can get stuck here. I mean, we tried everything we could to make it as boggy as possible. If he doesn't get stuck, at least we get a good V8 rumble.
So what then happens is, the normal thing is, when you're in a situation like that, you get stuck. Now he's got to reverse, he gets stuck up a dune. Now he's got to reverse down with a trailer. Everybody who's driven off-road in dunes with a trailer understands this problem. Reversing a trailer and keeping the trailer straight on a sand track is very difficult. What does he do if he gets stuck on a dune and he cannot reverse? He has to unhitch his trailer and manhandle his trailer. He's on his own. The trailer is going to weigh that many kilograms. He's not going to be physically capable of manhandling the trailer on his own down that dune. So if he gets to a situation where that happens, even once, that's it for the trailer. But let's say it doesn't happen, and he manages to get over. What do I mean by manage to get over? Well, this is how it happens. He doesn't, I can promise you, there is a 0% chance of any Jimny, unless with the most experienced Ari Vatanen type skill driver, is going to get over every single dune first time with a trailer. But let's say he's starting to struggle. So what happens when you start to struggle on dunes? Any of you who've driven dunes know what it's like. What's going to happen is he's going to try a little bit harder, a little bit harder. The slow and easy concept is out of the window. And that is when things break, because it's unavoidable. You have to drive so fast to get up the dunes. You need such momentum to get up the dunes. Even if the Suzuki's little motor copes, which it won't, even if that motor gets that little Jimny over the top with that trailer, you have hammered the living crap out of that car and of that trailer. You are not going to succeed on the Canning stock route in a fairly stock Jimny pulling anything. And that is my advice. So Joost, I know you're a little bit, you admit to being nerdy. I think you are also being a little bit stubborn, because at this moment, our discussions indicate you're determined to take a trailer. You are setting yourself up for failure, in my opinion. And you did come to me for my opinion. You have not, have you driven, you want to do a test trip? Do you want to do a test trip? You want to do it, okay, closer to your home, go and do the Simpson Desert with what you intend to do on the Canning. I would strongly recommend it, because Simpson is similar. Parts of the Simpson are similar in terms of long, hard, lumpy, with lots of holes, lots of divot, hill climbs over dunes, like Canning. Some of you have said, oh, get another car. No, that's not the point of this. He wants to do it in his little off-road overlander. That's part of it, is to do it with his car. So I dismiss all of those ideas. Remember, the easiest way is not always the most rewarding way. It would be easy if he had the money to go and buy himself a Land Cruiser and drive it. Okay, fairly dull when compared to the challenges of a Jimny. But he wants the challenge. But to me, the challenge is, okay, I've got a Jimny. Should I take a trailer? Is the trailer that precious to you? Is the desire to complete the track more or less important than the idea of doing it in your Jimny? Ditch the trailer. Ditch the idea of a trailer completely, okay? And again, you have got another set of axles to worry about, another set of shock absorbers to worry about, another set of tires, wheels to worry about and carry. The additional fuel it'll take to pull it is an additional weight on the whole package. The drawbar and everything I mentioned stock simple drawbar on that trailer is not gonna survive. Your shock absorbers in your Jimny, if you have stock shocks, they will not survive. I'm not guessing. The chances of coming through with no wear and tear on your Jimny, even if you set it up extremely well, is zero. Canning beats up cars. It just does. And I had a lot of comparisons between, we did a trip in the Kalahari with our Jimny and it went fine. It's not the same. Imagine, and those people who did comment and say, compared it with the Kalahari, and the Kalahari sand can be thick, really thick, grinding sand. Imagine that uphill, okay, for 300 meters. And there are over 1,000 of them. So, and trying to get you to understand that the Canning brakes cars is not just the corrugations. Now the corrugations, what they tend to do is they make the shock absorbers so hot, they cavitate air bubbles in the oil. And suddenly you don't have any shocks anymore. And your car, you lose all control over the suspension. It starts nose diving, bottoming, backing up, and it becomes hideous to drive, dangerous to drive. And eventually, when that starts happening, very soon after that, the shock absorber valves go, you get oil all everywhere, and you don't have shock absorbers. So the choice is, do I overload a bit? Yes. Because a light Jimny is going to have less chance of braking than a heavy Jimny. But a light Jimny pulling a trailer is just not able to pull that trailer. It cannot physically do it. You're asking a child to pull a full-size truck. It just can't do it. So what do? You take what you can and you load it onto the child's back. Now you have a chance of taking it easy and slow. You will probably have to rush a few of the dunes to get over. I'm talking about now, fully laden Jimny, up a dune, no trailer. There are going to be a few dunes where you're going to struggle a bit, but you'll get over them. If you don't, reversing back, easy. You can try it again a little bit faster and a little bit faster until you get over. If you've got a trailer on the back, it's hell. The last time I got stuck, I nearly couldn't reverse. I better get this right. So you go hammer and you go flat out and you break something. You have to avoid that situation where you're going, crikey, what do I do now? And I honestly believe that taking a trailer, you are staring that in the face. The money that he will spend on the fuel, he could spend on a roof rack. Because they're not expensive. Put a roof rack on and get the light stuff onto the roof. And put the jerry cans and everything and brace them into the vehicle. And you're going to decant them so gradually your payload's going to come down. So you might do the first 2, 3, 4 days a little bit over GVM, then you'll be on GVM, before you know it, you'll be under GVM. So you're not going to be spending lots of time over GVM, hammering the living crap out of your car to get over those dunes, because I'm talking about 12 days of endless dunes. 12 days of them. Imagine if you're struggling on day 1 and you're struggling with the first dozen dunes. How are you going to feel? You're standing now, you know the trailer was a bad idea. Where are you going to put everything? It'll fit inside. You've ruined your trip. Because now every time you need to get something, you have to unpack the whole car to get something. Because you haven't been able to take some of the lighter stuff and get it out of the way and on the roof rack. Now, I've driven Jimny with a full roof rooftop tent on the Jimny, and I drove it in New Zealand. It was stock. It handled that heavy looking, and it was pretty heavy, rooftop tent remarkably well, given its size. You won't feel that stuff on the roof. It will have no detrimental effect on the handling of the car to speak of. And the other part is that if you think a stock Jimny can successfully do canning, even without a trailer, you are mistaken. You will not, the shocks will not survive. You need to, okay, and you, in my opinion, you have no option if you want to succeed. You need to upgrade your springs and you need to upgrade your shock absorbers. You take the original equipment shock absorbers, one front and one back, and you put it in the back as spare parts, and remember to take the rubbers and everything so that you can replace them easily on trackside. Because even an upgraded shock absorber could easily fail, even if it's brand new. That's how rough canning is. And it's particularly rough on little Jimnys because the wheels are so small. You fall into the holes. You don't bounce over them, you fall into them, which means the shock absorbers on your car are working much harder than they would on a vehicle with bigger wheels. The end result is, it's not going to survive. And again, I exhort you, read the comments and listen to these wise people. They are wiser than you. I really want you to succeed. It will dishearten me massively if you have to give up. And remember, giving up on canning, there are only 2 escape routes on 1,600 kilometers. 2 escape routes. There's actually 3. There's one really quite close to the end down south, another one, next to the place where you're not allowed to take trailers. So you have to take a detour. If you didn't have a trailer, you could do the whole thing. Okay, with a trailer, you can't do the southern section. And that's about a day-ish, day and a half, seem to remember, that you cannot do. All right, don't miss that southern portion. Don't take a trailer. That's my opinion. I'm going to wrap up this story. Joost, I hope, really hope you'll take people who know better than you, their advice. Because they know more than you about your own car. Because they've done it in your own car. Until next time, thanks for watching.